Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to continue to talk about the Super League, right? Because we do have some further details on what this Super League is all going to be about. And we are going to be discussing on just why the big clubs do see the Super League as a big advantage for themselves and why it could be so beneficial for these clubs moving forward. So if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel and let's get to it. So it is fully official and it is confirmed that these Super Leagues, there are going to be big clubs involved within this league. It is going to consist of Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan. 12 of the biggest teams in Europe at this very moment. And then there are other clubs such as Bayern Munich, PSG, Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund who are rejecting this offer. They have clearly stated that they do not plan on joining the Super League. And there has been sources claiming that when it comes to the clubs such as Bayern, PSG, Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund, they do respect their fans and they also do respect their leagues. But with these choices that the big clubs have made, which is the 12 clubs, it did come with a lot of consequences. And it says here, according to UEFA, that all players that play in the European Super League will be banned from playing in the Euros and the World Cup. They won't be able to play for their national teams, and it has been confirmed by the UEFA president. Then as we continue here, it says here that UEFA's executive committee member Jesper Moyer says that he expects Chelsea, Madrid, and City to be kicked out from the current Champions League. And he said this, and I quote, "The clubs must go, and I expect that to happen on Friday. Then we have to find out how to finish this season's Champions League tournament." So there has been many consequences that these clubs will be facing and they have been facing. Now, I do want to give my quick thoughts on just what exactly does this mean, right? Could this actually happen? And I'm going to say this right now. I have a lot of trouble believing that these players could be agreeing with the ban that they could be facing, meaning players such as Messi, Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne. I do have trouble believing that these players are going to accept the fact that they are no longer going to be joining the World Cup or the Euros or the Copa America only because they do want to play within the Super League. And I do expect some players to actually stand out and say something regarding this situation because again, I just do not see these players actually saying, yeah, I would love to play in the Super League, even if that means that I do not have to play in the World Cup or the Euros or the Copa America or the domestic league or the Champions League no more. And the only thing that I do see coming from UEFA and FIFA is that I just feel like the only reason why they are putting out such statements, it is because they are afraid of losing control. They are afraid that they will no longer handle how these leagues and Champions Leagues could look like. And I do assume that these federations such as UEFA and FIFA, that the only reason why these statements are being put out is because they hope that with these big statements going towards the clubs, it could potentially stop the clubs from moving forward with the Super League. And in the end, if these clubs do continue to move forward with the Super League, regardless of these restrictions and these bans that the federations are giving out, I do see the clubs and the federations coming with some sort of agreement. Because let me tell you, do you really think it would make a lot of sense for FIFA, right? Let's just say, for example, let's say the Super League and the Champions League and the domestic league and all of this does end up happening within one current season and everything moves forward and they find an agreement. But do you really think that it would make sense for FIFA to ban these players like Messi, like Ronaldo, like Kevin De Bruyne, like Kylian Mbappe from the World Cup only because they have joined the Super League? FIFA wants to make money. FIFA wants to have these players in the World Cup regardless. Do you really think it would make sense for them to actually ban these players when the only reason why the audience and the people around the world want to see the World Cup, it is because of these players? Does FIFA actually want to do that? And this is where it gets very complex, right? Because assuming that the Super League and these federations do find an agreement, right? This is what I do mean by one day we are going to see these players actually speak out, but the only reason why these players haven't spoken out, it is because many questions have been unanswered and they have to be answered first in order for the players to come out and say, okay, I am not okay with this. But one of the biggest complexities is that what's going to happen with the player schedules? Because if you were to combine the Super League, the Champions League, the domestic leagues, and any other leagues that you do want to have within one current season, that is just way too many games. That is completely putting these players into overdrive, and you're only going to overmax these players to the point where you are going to be experiencing so many injuries, and there is going to be a point where the fans are going to get tired of seeing all of these games because you can only push so many games and these players can only play so many games, and they're going to have to pick and choose what league do they want to prioritize if it comes to that point, and if the federations and the Super League do find an agreement. But one of the biggest questions that does need to be answered is, why do these big clubs believe believe that the Super League is a good idea. So there is a reporter that did come from The Athletic, and he has spoken to these European executives of these top clubs. This did happen a few years ago, so all of the credit does go towards The Athletic for bringing this new information outside. But the reporter has said that he has spoken to these executives, and they were discussing, so what could the future of football actually look like? And the executives of these big European football clubs, they have said this: the local fans that do come to the stadiums and support the players and scream on the benches and buy the food, buy the snacks, buy the jerseys at the club, they are becoming less and less relevant. And what we are in favor and want to support moving forward as football continues to advance, we want to support the global fan base. So people in Jamaica, in the United States, in Mexico, in Argentina, in Brazil, in Nigeria, in Qatar, everywhere around the world, we want to support them. The local fans are becoming less relevant to us. And the reason why we want to put the global fan base first over the local fans that come here and support us is because we believe that the global fan base are the people that do pay for the subscriptions, they are the people that do buy the merchandise, the jerseys, and they are also the exact same people that support the digital platforms. That is where we believe the money is going to be coming from, and where we could expand our growth and build our reputation and revenue from. That is where the real money is going to be for many more years to come moving forward. Because one of our biggest problems that we wanted to solve, and especially for the next few years, is how can we build more revenue than the people that come here locally and buy the food and buy the drinks and buy the tickets of these games and buy the jerseys from within the club. And let's just say, for example, right, since this is a Barcelona channel, they believe that there is actually more money to be made in subscriptions than for the people who do come to Barcelona to visit the museums, to see the trophies. So in the end, the final conclusion on what these executives have said is that they believe that there is a huge market they have yet to tap into. And the reporter did say that when the executives were saying this and explaining this to this person, they felt no remorse. They did not feel bad. They did not feel the regret. The only thing that they have actually felt when they have said this was that we are going to be prepared for what's to come, because people are going to be backlashing from this idea that we do have, but we're going to be prepared. We're going to have our lawyers, we're going to have everyone, we're going to have the documents ready, we're going to have a clear plan on what we want to do. And here is what gets very interesting, because when we talk about the global fan base, right, from everywhere, in every country, all around the world, what the executives and these big clubs want to do is actually target not us fans who are extremely loyal to these clubs, the fans who are older than 25, 26, maybe to the 30s and 40 years old. They're not targeting those people. The people that they do want to target is the younger generation, the younger people, the kids, the teenagers. Those are the people that they do want to target when it comes to paying for the subscriptions, paying for the jerseys, because they believe that these young people are the future. They are the people who are going to be driving the revenue for these top clubs. And it makes sense, right? Because many of the young people who actually watch football and watch Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, they support many clubs. They are not necessarily built in a way where they do only support one club. They are absolutely everywhere, and it makes sense. This is probably something that the clubs have studied over time, stating that, you know what, these young people, they do not necessarily have loyalty within their clubs. They like to buy different jerseys. They like to pay for multiple subscriptions. They support many clubs. You look at the teams that they do play with on FIFA. There is a lot of money to be made here. So this is the reason why the clubs feel so reluctant to actually make this Super League happen, is because they believe that the younger people would love to see Man City versus Barcelona, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, Barcelona versus Liverpool, Barcelona versus potentially Bayern Munich, potentially PSG, PSG versus Man City, Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. Those are the type of games the Super League want to display on TV. And now by this time in this video, we can have some sense and a idea on just where this revenue and money is going to be coming from. And it says here, according to Felix Diaz, that the winner of a potential European Super League would be receiving a prize money award that would roughly be close to 400 million euros, which is a lot of money. And then as we do continue here, it says here that the organizers of the Super League have held early discussions to secure a deal with broadcasters, with the likes of Amazon, Facebook, Disney, etc. This would raise the annual revenues by 4 billion a year, twice the amount earned by the Champions League. And so you see, right, you see how everything is starting to add up onto why these top clubs do want to move forward with this. Just notice on where they do want to place these games at: Amazon, Facebook, and Disney. The exact exact platforms on where the younger people do spend their time on. That is how you reach the global audience. That is how you gain more revenue. And look, it is a smart business move. I have to give my respects towards these people who are making this move, because it is going to secure the clubs financially and not only bring them back into where they're supposed to be, but also build them even stronger. But I am always going to lean towards the side of, when it comes to the sport of football, it is absolutely terrible. It is a horrible idea to do that, because now moving forward, if this ends up happening, if the Super League does actually exist in a couple of months, there is no longer going to be any underdog story no more. You're not going to see the Ajax making that run in the 2018-2019 final. You're not going to be seeing a team like Lyon make it to the semifinals. None of that is going to exist. And when it comes to a lower division team competing against a top club and they have beaten that top club, it's not even going to matter, because if a team like Huesca beats FC Barcelona, it doesn't matter. Barcelona are going to have no interest on playing against Huesca, because they're always going to be having that security of being in the Super League, because they are going to be a permanent club. And this is why many are saying that there will be no point on having a domestic league when there is already a secured and permanent spot for these top clubs, regardless of what does happen within these domestic leagues. But that's going to be the talk of today. This is exactly what's going on within the Super League. These are the latest details. Again, I don't want to make it fully official and make it very confirmed that Barcelona are one of the founders and owners of the Super League. And so lastly, I do want to talk about Sergio Aguero. So Sergio Aguero has actually been talked about in the city of FC Barcelona. The only reason why this report has not come out into light, it is because of what's been going on around the world of football. But Aguero is starting to look more of a possibility by the day. And it says here that Sergio Aguero is getting closer to joining Barcelona. His lawyers have received the contract from the Catalan club. Aguero has agreed to lower his wages in order to join FC Barcelona. So when it does come to Sergio Aguero, if Aguero does end up being signed for FC Barcelona, I do not expect Aguero to actually have a contract no longer and no more than a 3-year contract. I do see this as a very short-term replacement. He is going to be free. His wages are going to be low. This is not going to cost Barcelona very much. I do assume that the main plan of Aguero is going to be to replace Martin Braithwaite. That is going to be the role that Aguero is going to be having. I still strongly do believe that Barcelona are going to be heading towards one of the big number 9s in the world. And this is where it does get very complex, because it's very hard to talk about transfers right now, and especially because of what's happening with the Super League. Because now that a team like Borussia Dortmund is not going to be one of those clubs that are willing to join this league, what does that say for Erling Haaland? Haaland is going to be a player that wants to be in the toughest competitions in the world. Does that mean that Erling Haaland is going to be pushing even more away from Borussia Dortmund in order to go to a Super League club, if this does end up happening? And the other factor is going to be this, because Barcelona are actually one of the founders of the Super League, and they are going to be having that security of being paid 350 million euros for joining this league. They're actually going to be put in a position where they are going to be capable to sign these big one-of-a-kind players. So there's just so many questions, so many things that's going on right now. But right now, Barcelona overall, they're in a very good position. Real Madrid right now, they have lost points. The only thing that Barcelona have to do right now when it comes to winning this league is that we have to win the remainder of these games, and we do win the domestic double. But that's going to be it for today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.